Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Apologies for the troubles related with the link. We didn't know it would make like that. We are still waiting for some people. Yeah, so I think that we need some like 5-10 minutes. We didn't have yet all the participants online and on site. przesyłam, już nie łączy.
Tak, to jest tak po prostu.
Oh, good to see you, Eleni. Apologies for troubles.
Yeah, we had some troubles in the morning. Jeśli są relacje i już zaczynamy. Can we start now? Everyone is ready? So I would like to welcome you on the second day. I don't know, I'm not sure you are saying me, but a little bit I'm here. So today we are starting the second day of our workshop, action plan feedback workshop. Today we have one feedback session for Coventry University Enterprise. After this, we will discuss a little bit about fifth territorial stakeholder group meeting. Then we will thank our experts for the support in this workshop, and we will have internal meeting about the monitoring phase of the project, as well as studying group meeting. We will finish at noon, more or less. Sorry for morning disruptions with the link, but yeah, we didn't know that it doesn't work, so sorry for the delay. And not to I will not take any time more. I would like to ask Eleni for the presentation of the action plan for her region. So Eleni, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. Do I share my screen or you put?
Yeah, you please share your screen.
Okay. Can you see the presentation now?
Yes, we can see it.
Perfect. So the action plan of our region, the West Midlands in the UK, is actually consisting of two parts, two main actions that are targeting two different instruments. One is the ERDF, so the Regional Operation Program, and the other one is a funding and a policy that comes from the central government. So the expectations that I have from today's session is obviously to get some ideas on how we could possibly improve the regional aspect. So if you have any good views, ideas, or suggestions to make on the good practices that can help us to get further inspiration. Ideas on the measurement of the results, we had to change the indicator, the self-defined indicator, and make it something that is more easier to actually measure. And any ideas on lessons learned from other regions that we could integrate in our action plan. So the context of the action plan, as I said before, we've got two main instruments. As you know, due to Brexit, we will not be having a continuation of the ERDF funds. and they will be replaced by a governmental scheme called the Prosperity Funds. However, it's quite far from developing, and therefore we were not able to include it at the action plan at this stage. So we decided to actually adapt a strategy that we have adapted across all of our indirect projects and try to target the existing ERDF running projects. So the first policy instrument is the Coventry and Warwickshire European Structural and Investment Fund Strategy, which is the regional operation program. It was funded until the 2020. However, we've got projects that are being run until the 2023. These strategies, the actions that we will be suggesting come under priority 4, which is about low carbon economy, and more specifically about cycling. The second instrument is the Emergency Active Travel Fund, which is practically a recent policy introduced by the government like a year and a half ago to tackle COVID-19. It was basically a response from the central government to COVID-19, and that included a number of projects and investments across many regions in the UK. So it had projects that were targeting on improving the infrastructure, projects that were on the monitoring and evaluation of the projects, and various road safety campaigns. So that's a little bit of the background about the two policy instruments. The context of the action plan, that slide practically represents the process of reaching the final decision on what to focus on the action plan. So as all the other regions, practically we ran the citizen panels, 4 in total. The 4th one was conducted online due to COVID. We had many consultations and brainstorming sessions with the local stakeholders and the Coventry City Council, which is responsible for developing the local policy. And we also conducted a survey on the citizen needs on active travel. And that was around 14 months ago. Then we got inspiration from the interregional learning through the meetings that we attended, the good practices that we saw, the virtual study visits, and the consultations with other stakeholders from other regions as well. With all that in mind, we practically developed an action plan that was targeting on active travel, which was the focus of our citizen needs. There were 2 aspects that were raised during the citizen panels, the educational and information provision aspect, and the involvement of citizens on policy design and project design. So the new target that we're suggesting, the new self-defined indicator that we're suggesting is 3 stakeholders to be educated on sustainable and active travel. So the first action is called Active Mobility Promotion on the Green Business Program. So what is the Green Business Program? The Green Business Program is an ERDF project that would be running until 2023. That particular project has been used on another project as well, on another indirect project as part of their action plan. However, the other project will be focusing on other aspects of the project. I'm just mentioning that because it was already approved for the other project. So I believe that there is a high possibility that the JS would approve this one as well, because it practically relates to a partial change of the policy instrument, which is very difficult to achieve, and we have managed to do it through that project. So, as I said, it's an ERDF funded project. The focus is on supporting SMEs to produce low carbon products and services. There is a transport direction on the project that was provided by another indirect. And now what we're suggesting is that we've got a quite successful project that is supporting transport SMEs on the region to introduce low carbon transport products and services in the market, but this particular project has not addressed the citizens, the people's elements. So we are suggesting that we interfere into that program, which is already running, and we suggest a different aspect, if you like, a different direction, an additional direction, where we involve citizens now, and we practically educate and achieve a behavioral shift for the SME owners, employees, and other stakeholders, along with the policymakers, towards sustainable mobility. So, moving into the actions. So, as I said, we are adding the people's element on the ERDF project, with the shift towards sustainability. And how would be that done? Through the provision of training, possibly online due to the COVID circumstances at the moment. So we educate them, we provide them knowledge and information on the different active travel schemes in the region, but also on the benefits of adopting an active travel behavior. The objective of the action and the results expected. So we are aiming at increasing the active mobility uptake by promoting, but also educating the stakeholders. So we are aiming at 200 stakeholders being involved in active travel, in education of active travel. The activities and the time frame. We will introduce a series of seminars that would be called Green Talk Live. So the plan is to make them webinars, so over the web, and we're targeting 50 to 70 individuals per session. The seminars will be delivered from the City Council with the support of Coventry University, and we'll have 2 sessions per year, accompanied by more sustainable transport sessions with local organizations and communities. So we've got 2 online sessions, informative sessions, plus some other meetings with the key policymakers and the transport authorities. The period that the project will be, this action will be running is 2021 to 2023. And I'm not entirely sure when the actions, which month the actions should be starting according to JS. However, we have already planned the first webinar to be held in November. Not sure if we can count it. If not, we will count the next one. So furthermore, the players involved. So we have City Council, which is the policy instrument owner, Coventry University, which is our main university, and Coventry University Enterprises, which is ourselves. There won't be any extra costs required. The project is already funded by the ROP. So we're just introducing an additional aspect, an additional direction to this. Action number 2 is investing on co-creation and active travel schemes. So at the moment, the West Midlands Active Travel Fund policy includes a set of measures to enable citizens to walk or cycle safely. These have been further enhanced over the last 16 months. And these measures actually support travel safety and securely. So we have locks and car park and bike parks, especially located also on travel stations and bus stations for the first and last mile of travel. To get workers and business back up and running, to support the school travel and keep children and families safe, keep the air clean and the atmosphere, and support the green recovery of the region. So the Pe4Trans contributed by providing information, knowledge, and experience on citizen participation and engagement, and on the process of co-creating and co-designing. The second action, the objective of the second action, is to support the policy to be better implemented by introducing a greater user participation on the development of the projects that come under this policy. the results will be more people involved in active travel. So what would be the activities, the actual activities involved in the second action? We have a series of online citizen consultations that would be entitled Let's Talk. And that would be a platform that has already been designed by the Coventry City Council. And it will be extracting information from citizens or other stakeholders who would like to make comments and provide feedback on matters that relate to infrastructure development, but also to other matters such as behavioral change techniques, suggestions on events or any other. So so far the suggestion is that the region should be focusing on getting the people's opinion on matters that relate to people on cycles who have a priority over traffic. So how we can achieve that? Citizens would go online and submit their suggestions. On light junctions, roundabouts, the cycleway will bypass them or have its own set of traffic lights. So this is another topic that citizens will be sending their feedback. Bus stops and parking laybys will be repositioned within the overall highway to make space for the cycleway, whether this is needed or not. New parallel crossings, zebra crossings will be installed on roads and roads will be narrowed. So these are topics that have been suggested by City Council in conjunction with us to actually run consultations with citizens online. The project will be running until 2023. And how Pe4Trans contributed, we introduced the co-design and co-creation element into the active travel scheme to actually achieve a greater acceptability of the solutions. We got inspiration from the crowd sourcing good practice that was implemented in Thessaloniki by Aristotle University. And the main players involved is the City Council, the Coventry City Council, the Transport for West Midlands, Coventry University and Coventry University Enterprises. In terms of political endorsement, the Coventry City Council, which is the policy owner of practically both the policies that we will be targeting on the action plan, has indicated that they would be supporting in the way that we need it. So it can be either by signing the action plan or providing a letter of support, whatever is needed by JS. We will work along with them on further improving the citizen platform to collect the citizen views. And we will be working with them on arranging and, if you like, altering the current ERDF program by including the citizens element into it. And that was practically the presentation of our action plan.
Thank you, Eleni. Now I would like to open the question and answer session. So before the feedback, do anyone else have any questions to Eleni regarding these two actions which are planned for the cover? Eva is asking the question, yeah? Just a second, because we need to change the microphones.
Eleni, mówiłaś, żeście przygotowali ankietę.
Well, you said you prepared the survey.
Czy ankieta była podstawą do działań, jakie chcecie zrealizować?
Was the survey the grounds? Is it the base for the activities you are going to launch? And what are the results of the survey? This is the first question. What are the directions you want to achieve with this result from the survey, from the questionnaire?
Okay, so the survey was an additional search that we activity, if you like, that we launched through the project. It has not been charged on the project. It does not be asked by the project. So the basis of our activities and our action plan is the citizen panels. So we based the development of the action plan on the results that we mainly received by the citizen panels. However, the survey was done in the between the second and the third citizen panel, and practically confirmed the findings of the citizen panel, which was the great potential of cycling in the region. So the main result of the survey in a nutshell is practically that there is a huge potential. People of all ages are very keen to get involved in cycling if provided that there is a bit of infrastructure development in the city so as to ensure the safety of the cyclists. And one more thing that came out of the survey, but also from the citizen panels, was that the people seem to think that they're aware of the benefits of active travel, so both cycling and walking. However, they were not aware of the different schemes that run in the region. For example, location subsidies, when they buy bikes, they can get a refund from the government, or employer schemes. So a lack of information in terms of active travel projects that can support their active travel, the citizens' active travel, was one thing. And the second main result, as I said before, was the potential, because practically they all said, both the citizens of the citizen panels, but also on the survey, that they're keen to get involved a lot more on active travel. And obviously, when we say active travel, we mean for short distances, so up to 6 kilometers. So travels to go to shops, to universities, to schools, to see friends. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, I have a question regarding the first activity, and I found there in your slides that you mentioned that there was no attempt to change the behavior of SMEs, that it was not included in the program, but having in mind the importance of it, maybe it is some parallel actions outside this program that changes behavior. Do you have some parallel program, or it is planned for next time?
No, actually, this is what was the suggestion of the first action of the action plan, to run. Okay, I'm not entirely sure if the correct term is in parallel, but probably the correct term is within the project, the behavior change activities, as they were not foreseen so far. So just to elaborate a little bit more, we had a program that was targeting at providing grants or support to SMEs to produce products, but they were not, the project so far has not been changing the mentality of the people of the SMEs and their employees. So the action one is comes into that to actually change the whole mindset, and not just provide grants for producing new products.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions? Yeah. How do we proceed now with the feedback?
I think they are having some problems with the
Okay.
It's because I see that they are like moving the microphone.
It's not a good day today.
Yeah. So
Let's wait.
okay, in the meantime, maybe I have also a question, so we can take advantage of the time. Do you plan, because I've seen this idea of introducing behavioral change along with other interventions for green business creation, as you mentioned. And is there, and you plan different seminars and workshops along the activity. Is there plan any let's say communication campaign beyond these seminars, or even together, or bringing together both actions, the co-creation and the behavioral change?
We haven't included that, but I believe that we could easily add that into the program, because in order to recruit the participants for both actions, we'll have to launch some kind of possibly social media campaign.
Exactly.
Do you have any specific suggestions on what sort of campaign? Do you think social media?
The issue here is that if you do not make an effort to promote, let's say, communication, normally what happens is that the attendees, the easy attendees to these seminars are normally already, committed with the environment, are already. So yeah, the issue here is, of course, to implement, to detect who are the target that you would like to, let's say, involve in this behavioral change process. And to do that, it's important to identify key communication targets, messages, and so on and so forth. So that's why I was wondering if there is some specific action or activity addressed to this, capturing process or this engagement process, because otherwise what will happen is that normally the, let's say, natural attendees to these seminars are those that normally do not need to be, convinced that much, because it's the natural, let's say, interest that they have. So, but in any case, of course, it's important to add this behavioral component to the other activities that the regional funds are implemented to make businesses greener. So yeah, I see the let's say this type of seminars are relevant. So just make sure that you involve those attendees that are probably more needed to be engaged on this behavioral change.
Okay, I might have a question then for you, if you have an opinion on that, and you could provide now. Practically, because this is coming through an already established database of the Green Business Program. So at the first level, we would be targeting the SME owners, employees, their close friends, families, and their partners, business partners. So the first data layer of the database and target group would be that. Do you think we could move along by involving, developing further this database then? So let me put it that way. So at the first seminar, we target them, and then we launch the campaign. Or we launch it from the beginning and we involve absolutely anyone who's interested.
No. I think it's a good idea to start from this, let's say, already established database. Yeah, but what I'm trying to say is that try to go beyond that, let's say, already
public group. Usual suspects. Yeah. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, other questions, Eva? No. Oh, okay. So just to sum up, do you hear us? First of all.
Yes, yes.
Okay, finally. Just to sum up, so the first action with the companies are only the tool to get to people. Only
So you have to say again. I couldn't hear you well. Sorry. The companies.
The link with the companies is only because you want to reach these people. This is the way, the tool.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
Reach them through that. Yeah.
Reaching them through that. And just tell me, please, how these companies will be engaged. You know, the companies, the owners, why they will provide you the link to the people, to the employees.
And they will be encouraged by the city council is practically their funder, because we've got the RDF, which comes to the region, to the council, and the council pays the SMEs projects. So whenever an SME is engaged in the project, the city council would, I don't want to say force them, but encourage them that they would be attending themselves and their employees the training, the sessions.
Okay.
So it would be, if you like, part of their obligations.
Okay, okay. This is the thing I was interested in. Okay, thank you, Eleni, for the answer. Any other questions? Feedback? I think the actions are quite simple, but it's good that it will be the great chance that it will be implemented. Yeah, I would like to add something to this funding source. You said no extra funding will be needed, but I think it will be good to estimate the cost, because there will be the cost of the city council, which will be contacting the companies, that there will be cost of providing with these webinars. So there will be the real cost, even if the city council is doing this within their own money, their own resources. So I think it will be good to estimate it somehow, the cost of this action.
Okay.
Even if it won't be, the additional money which will have to be provided for the action, but the costs are there.
Okay. Do we include the cost, the estimated cost on the action plans then?
Yeah, it should be the estimated cost. I think it should be in an action plan.
Okay.
The certain amount of money, even it will be done by the city council. Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Because on the other action plans, we didn't include it. We included only if we were asking for money. But when it was effort translated to money, we didn't put it. But it's okay. We can put it.
Yeah, I think it's worth to show joint secretariat.
Yes.
It will cost this amount of money if the funding, even if the funding source is the own resources of the City Council of Coventry.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from the partners? Feedback?
Yes, I could ask something.
Yeah, Sebastian, please.
Regarding the second action, you mentioned about co-creation, co-design, and there was something on the slide about crowdsourcing platform. So how do you plan to implement this co-creation process?
So, yeah, so the Coventry City Council has got already developed a platform for gathering views, and this particular platform can be structured in different topics depending on what sort of sector or subsector we're targeting at. So at the moment, we would be focusing on what I described on the presentation, 4 different projects that they're planning to implement on Coventry. So for each of the topics of the projects, the citizens would be able to go online and post their views. The reviews can be either yes or no, or it can be short sentences, whether they consider, let's say, the project of providing locks at the train station is good or not, so they can go on the portal and submit their opinion. And then based on their opinion, the city council, but that would go beyond the project, our project, that would be beyond the 2023, would implement or not the infrastructure projects that they have in mind in Coventry. So let's say the Pe4Trans intervention would stop at gathering the views of the stakeholders on several sectors that concern active travel in Coventry, but would not then provide, would not take part of implementing this project. If you know what I mean, because this would not up to us anymore. It would be down to whether they have the funding, who's in the government, and other matters that are beyond the project.
Now Eva wants to ask the question. Just wait a second, because we have to change the microphone position.
Eleni mówisz, że pracujecie w zespole.
So you're talking, you're working in a group, you're working in panels.
Rada Miasta jest jakby liderem.
So from what I've understood is that the city council, it's just like the leader of all of these activities. So what's your involvement, your
Co
participation?
wy robicie?
What
Co
do you
chcecie
do?
wy jako uniwersytet,
So what do you do, or what do you as the university want to do? How do you support the council? What are your activities?
Okay, so the city council is the leader because it's the policy owner and the main funder of all the projects in our region. So they are the ones who developed and wrote the regional operation program. So as the people who have the policy power, but also the money to implement directions, we work along with them to provide them support in taking more informed decisions based on data and information that we have gathered from Pe4Trans project. So, for example, the City Council for Action 1 has decided to provide funds for the transport SMEs. Then we, as Coventry University, we come into that with our knowledge and experience and provide suggest an extra support that would be delivered in conjunction with us on training apart from the SME owners and the SME employees. And with regards to the Action 2, the Coventry has got the money, the City Council has got the money to invest on changing the active travel infrastructure in the city. We as Coventry University, we come into that as providing information and suggestions on what projects should be implemented in Coventry based on the experience and knowledge that has been provided by the citizens to us.
Thank you, Eleni. Now to sum up, I would like to ask Maite once again, you want to give the overall feedback, please?
Yes, so yeah, as already mentioned, overall, I think that the proposed actions are very concrete and now I think are very well aligned with the existing instruments, which I think it's really good. About the, let's say, a specific description to be, I think there are some details that are missing. For instance, as mentioned before, I think in both actions, it would be good to have a sort of details on the communication and engagement strategy. Otherwise, you know, this kind of activities involving citizens and specific stakeholders could be biased if we do not implement a clear strategy to engage the correct people to be there. Also, in particular for the first action, I would like to have more details of the type of specific, let's say, content of the seminars to promote this behavioral change in this specific group and related to green business. Of course, it's, I understand that this is something that it should be delivered or should be elaborated further, but yeah. Also, yeah, you have sort of, as mentioned yesterday about the case of Thessaloniki, you put a sort of target in terms of audience that you are willing to reach, but monitoring indicators about, for instance, how the awareness about environmental issues within these stakeholders in green business are not included, and this could be good, not to capture how these seminars are changing or not attitudes and environmental awareness. Yeah, and also the detail on the cost. It could be good to have it more detailed, but I think this also in progress. Apart from that, and specifically about action 2, yeah, I think it has been already proven the need to involve citizens in the co-creation of decisions. And again, it's good that you are able to integrate this action within the existing instruments for improving infrastructures for cycling and walking. But as far as I've understood, again, I'm missing details on how this engagement and co-creation activities are going to be implemented. So you mentioned about the platform, about the consultations here, and according to my knowledge, consultations are not co-creation. So this means that you are like proposing. It's a decision. It's not bad, but I think it's important to use the concrete terms for defining things. When you are like involving citizens to decide and to define and to jointly take decisions, that's co-creation. When you are proposing decisions that are consulted, that's a consultation process, and it's totally adequate. But this consultation is more related with acceptance. Co-creation is more related with behavioral change, but because it involves, let's say, a deeper collaborative process for the citizens, and also a different hierarchical position between the administration, the governance, and the citizens. But these are, like, let's say, theoretical things that are not important. What I think it is important is to better detail the concrete activities in which you are involving the citizenships, and also to be sure that if you use co-creation, you are or co-design, you are like implementing real co-creation and co-design activities. Otherwise, it's like maybe generated expectations that are not real. And again, yeah, it would be good to have monitoring indicators about. You mentioned again the people that will be reached, and that's good. But maybe how there is an impact on these people, on the way they perceive all the environmental and attitudes towards active mobility, which is at the end your main aim. And that's more or less my feedback. But overall, I think they are good actions to be implemented, and that complement very, very well the existing instrument.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Maite, very much. Andrews, would you like to add some ad hoc feedback?
Actually, I have only positive feedback, and I don't have any any critics or any issues detected in the program you are doing. And actually, I just want to express my wish that results that you will achieve in the future will as you plan. So actually, all these initiatives it is very important to understand that it's very difficult to measure about the result. It is very all this activities in the face of result are very how to say it in a proper word, elastic, or because the results will come in 5 years, maybe in 10 years, and even after you've finished the project and finish your activities, results will appear even later. So my even suggestion is to have kind of long-term monitoring system that include those activities and evaluate the past of activities even in 5 or in 10 years ahead period. It is impossible to achieve very quick changes in behavior in using the new proposed means that you are planning, and inertia of the behavior as usual is very strong here. So my general feedback and maybe recommendation is to think how to capture those benefits and evaluate those benefits you will get in the future. It is very difficult, I know, but you should have all in the relation between what you are doing now and when you expect to have the changes in the future. So that is my recommendation, even more than just a feedback. So thank you.
Thank you, Andrews.
Thank you.
Any other questions, feedback for Eleni? More feedback and questions at the stage? If not, thank you very much. So we are closing the sessions for Coventry right now. And I would like to give the floor to Elżbieta. So we could first agree with our experts, Marta and Andrews, what would be the time for you to give us the written feedback on the action plans. Elżbieta sent you something in an email, but perhaps we will discuss the deadlines right now. So we could speed up with the process of finalizing this action plan. So Elżbieta, the floor is yours.
Okay, just to be on the same page with everyone, because I have communicated separately to partners, separately to experts. So the objective of the activity that we are taking now, these feedback workshops and the feedback reports that will be produced after that, is to help all of the partners to improve the actions plans so that they are approved by the Joint Secretariat. We are happy to be in such situation that majority, if not all of the actions plans are to my opinion, are quite good quality. And then some already, as yesterday we discussed, are like ready to be submitted. Some would need a little bit of structuring, maybe adding something about how results will be measured. And we are going to send the action plans to the Joint Secretariat for approval, let's say as soon as possible. But on the other hand, we want to give you some time. So perhaps it will be November. And this is actually the deadline we have agreed with Joint Secretariat. Yes, Kamila?
As far as I remember, yes.
because we asked for, and we also we are in the process of discussing so-called delayed activities with the Joint Secretariat.
Yeah, I will check the.
Yeah, in the meantime, more or less. But
Midterm report, the deadline when we have to submit the action plans, just give me the second.
So with the experts, we had the contract that actually has had given like exact dates. Not we didn't say it in the contract before that you will have 2 weeks or 4 weeks or anything, but we had exact dates for providing the feedback report. We plan to have this meeting in January this year. Yeah. We are now in September, so it's like 9 months delay, and we have put stiff deadline for the experts on the end of February, 28th of February, and that meant we had something like 2 months in our calendar as it was before for all of the partners. I can see that Małgorzata is sending a message to me that finalization of the action plan is in November. So so it is. So my memory this time is not so bad.
But sorry,
yeah.
Which meeting did you mean? I didn't understand. Which meeting is going to take place in January?
This meeting that we are having now was planned for January this year.
Okay.
So we have 9 months delay. So that means that we need to squeeze the calendar of activities, and that's why this is the problem. And that's why I'm telling this right now, so everybody understand the context. That we had in the original plan, we had comfortable time periods for all of the steps, and now when we are to submit the action plan in November. That means that we have to hurry up and squeeze the time for each step, because we were supposed to originally submit the action plan by the end of phase 1, which was by the end of May.
Yeah, yeah.
So date by the end of November. Yeah. And so that means that we have shortened calendar, and our task as a lead partner is to ensure that the action plans that are sent for the Joint Secretariat for approval, that they are meeting the criteria and are of enough of quality that is required by them. For the criteria, we have included the criteria in the peer review that has been done already in the forms, so everybody knows what are the criteria. And for experts, we didn't bother you with some more formal criteria. I have sent you Word with questions that actually takes the criteria in the form of questions to you, those that we want to have your feedback on. So so what we will do after this meeting, we as a lead partner, we want to coordinate compilation of all of the feedback that we can get for all of the partners. That means as the feedback report from the peer review that was made in the activities before that we had bilateral meetings will be updated, as you have, all of us have already updated it for today's meeting. So I will bilaterally contact everyone to have it, and I will compile the feedback from the experts so that everyone gets one feedback report, so it will be more comfortable to think what kind of improvements and some more developments can take in the report. So I have already suggested to our experts that that what we could perhaps agree is to give you, to give you 4 weeks for the feedback report. Of course, now it's a bit like negotiation time with you. If you think it's difficult for you to provide your feedback a bit earlier, because we are now on 23rd of September, and 4 weeks is like, let's look at the calendar.
21.
It's
21st,
21st
yeah.
of October.
October.
And if we have 21st of October, then the partners, well, we will need some time as a lead partner, but we will try to do it like 2-3 days to send it, to compile it, and send it out to the partners. So the partners will have something like 1 month to prepare everything, but in between there should be a 5th territorial stakeholder group meeting. So it's not like it's not so much comfortable for the partners to have this 1 month. It looks like a lot of time, but it's in reality it's not so much. So but we don't want to put too much pressure, even though I've made already some pressure. Sorry for this. We don't want to put too much pressure on you. We would like to be realistic, to ask you when you would be able to provide this feedback. Maite?
Are you asking us?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, for me, these 4 weeks are ideal. I mean, I'm sure maybe I can try to make it a little bit earlier, but you know, it's also quite a busy period right now. So it's also something that you need to do, you know, with detail. And so if possible, 4 weeks until the 21st is perfect. If, of course, if you need additional days, we will try to do our best. But I don't know, Andrews, how do you see it?
I think 1 month is okay, but I just wonder if we could have kind of like not template, but just some general.
We do have a template.
But Andrews had problems to receive it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think that it is. If we have templates, sorry, because I still not look on that. It depends on how the deep and long in terms of information feedback would be. It is very important that all experts provide a similar, symmetry between feedback reports. So if one provides 10 pages, another 100 pages, it is not okay. But so we should agree on what preliminary expectation is on feedback. But 1 month is in general okay.
Okay, so I suggest then that I will create an online document in which you can put your feedback in one document, and then I can contact bilateral review. What do you think? Then it will be.
I'm sorry, but I hate to work in online documents. I've experienced a lot of problems with losing information. So what we can do is, I mean, or even Andrews and myself, maybe to have a meeting before sending and try to integrate the information together if it is easier for you. But it's also sort of extra time. But I'm not very prone to work online.
Okay, I understand. Well, what we could do is to try to make the first one, like we can discuss it in between us now. I don't want to take the time of everyone. Yeah. What we could do is that we can align the work in the sense that we can agree that we can exchange on the first one to see what is the length and how it could be done. And then do the rest. I can agree with you on the details by emails, and then it will be easier to. We don't want to have lengthy documents for sure. As simple and as practical as possible.
Yes, for your.
I can
For
also,
your information, Andrews, is quite a straightforward template with clear questions. So I think we will manage to be very concrete and clear to responding the questions.
So perhaps it's possible to set up the date for the first before. Because the 21st of October is the final deadline for everything. Because in other way we will not manage to finalize the action plan till the deadline.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
So perhaps in 2 weeks from now, is it possible for you, Mike and Andrews, for the first one?
Which is the first one? Should we just follow the agenda?
Which one do you want? Which one do you want?
I would say let's take one that is almost ready. So I think that Thessaloniki is a good example that it's like ready to be submitted.
Perfect.
Yeah. Okay. So then 7th of October.
Yeah.
Okay, so many thanks for this. So we can go on to the next point of the agenda that we also asked our experts to participate, but this is something I hope won't take a lot of time. This is related with the 5th territorial stakeholder group meeting.
Sorry, can I interrupt you for one moment? We have a question about the deadline. So 7th of October is the deadline for the expert to send you the final their feedback. We wait from you.
Only for Thessaloniki. For the rest is the 21st of September. October.
So the partners wait from you the experts' feedback at the end of October.
Yeah.
And do you wait from the partners the updated feedback or something else that we should submit?
Yeah.
So should we set a date for that too?
Yeah, we will do it during the steering group meeting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought we were closing the action plan.
Because this is going to be the first to have the common understanding how the feedback should look like, and for the rest it will be the 21st of October, and all of us will receive the feedback from experts and from the partners after this workshop on 21st of October. Yeah, the Thessaloniki will be the example. Yeah, that's why you are in favor.
21st or 24th?
21st. Yeah.
Okay, so discussion on the 5th territorial stakeholder group meeting. As perhaps you remember, for the meetings before, we also had them like merged with citizens panel. Now we don't need to have citizens panel with the 5th one, and we haven't with Camila, we haven't prepared any suggestions for the methodology on the scenario how it should go on. The objectives for these meetings are like a kind of cafeteria that you can choose on. It is to help all of us to get the commitment from the stakeholders on the action plan that later on it is really implemented. So on who should be involved as the stakeholders and which exact objectives should be taken in would be a little bit like to be adapted to your situation. Well, first the objectives that it was planned to have this meeting after the feedback workshop and reception of the feedback report from experts is to take in this feedback, to present it to the stakeholders and agree with them on changes if necessary. We didn't know how much changes we need to do. I guess that in majority of cases, there is nothing really that would make a breakthrough or a real change in the action plan. So if needed, to agree on the changes and to ensure the commitment. And actually, we count on a little bit of advice from experts on how to ensure this commitment. However, with the experience of public engagement, we know that the more space we provide for the participants to take decisions, the more commitment or ownership we have. So like a simple rule. I don't know, Maite, if you can agree on this rule. That the stakeholders are committed if they feel they own the decision. So they need to have space for a decision. Maite, can you hear me? Do you think that this is a good rule to say?
Sorry?
Couldn't hear well.
Yeah, there was some interferences, but now I'm feeling well.
Yeah. I just said that if the workshop, I just wanted to ensure that I'm right, or maybe we should take it from a different perspective, that if our objective is to ensure the commitment of the stakeholders on the implementation of the action plan, probably the rule is that if the stakeholders can take decisions, so we don't show them here, this is the action plan and you are to do it, then I think that probably they would not be committed. But if we can try to make like a space for taking decision, even though some framework decision has been even taken, we can get more commitment. The more space for decision, the more commitment we can get.
Well, there are two things here. First, I think it's important to communicate that the action plan is the result of continuous participation, contributions, feedback, and really contributions from the panels and from the citizens. That's first thing, is to communicate that this is not a top-down action plan. It's something that has been created together at the end, right? And of course, also, if there is room for adapting a little bit the activities to include and adapt additional requirements or ideas or suggestions or contributions from the panel, that's ideal, because then you cover like let's say the both elements. One, good communication, transmitting and involving in the decision-making process. And second is to leave room for additional, contributions, suggestions. So at the end, the feeling is that it's a joint initiative that has been elaborated together with the citizenship. So yeah, it's not only that this workshop or this last panel, it's to leave room for suggestions and little changes. It's also to communicate that this is the result of their involvement and their process.
Yes.
We have 3 actions that are stakeholders is not possible. It's like 100. Oh, you understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And we tell them what, and we present them the action plan. Not all involved stakeholders have seen the action plan. First, we present them the action plan. Then we present them the feedback from the experts and so on. And we, in one stakeholder group meeting, we cannot clear up who, what, when, with what effect. It's, we need, we have also external companies. We need offers and so on. We make speak with them alone. You know what I mean? It's not in one stakeholder group meeting.
Yeah. If I can, I don't know if I should take the microphone back. I think it's very good. It's very good that you asked this question because I think we should be clear enough. The meeting, the stakeholder meeting is objective is not to put like obligations on you as a partner, as District of Bentheim, and that of course it concerns everyone. It is to help you. So if you think it is not possible to invite all of them, you can invite only some. If you think it's it would be helpful to have like 3 different meetings for different groups, you can do this. Yeah, you can always do more, but for sure I will not tell you do more because yeah, with the age I have and with the experiences, I always was like, let's do more, and now I am, let's do minimum. Let's do minimum and do it properly.
So is the objective of the 5th territorial stakeholder group meeting is to plan successful of the action plan, and it's up to the partners to see what is the better way to implement.
It's up to partners.
Yes, but aren't we talking about the citizens that participate in previous citizens panels?
No. Not necessarily. Here it's also the room for maneuver. If you want to engage the participants, the citizens, I think some more work has to be done so that they feel they have contributed to something when they come. Because I have an impression when I speak to participants of different meetings, if they come, they don't want to learn something. They want to see that their voice have been taken in, and they can see that they influence something. Of course, you can use this meeting to show, look, we worked together, and here is the result. So what you have done so far is taken in. But still it would be difficult. I think this is what Maite, you have also said, that it's good also to communicate the thing that what we have as an action plan is the result of 3 years work. Yeah. So, well, then my question would be for all of you. Should we prepare some written guidelines on how to organize it, or everyone would do it her own way?
In my opinion, Elsieta, I would like to have guidelines, even if before we can do after the meeting, we can do whatever we can, because in our action plan we have 6 action, so it's very difficult to join together all the stakeholders, and they are involved in different topics. So for us, it's very difficult to have a meeting.
Okay, for me, if there is one voice to prepare the guidelines, we will prepare them. Well, I'm quite a bit now like shy to ask Maite because it's out of the scope of your assignment. Can you help us in a way that you have some kind of like ready material that you can send us, that we can have the inspiration from, or do you think we could send you the guidelines that you have a look at them before we send to the partners?
I think let me discuss with Barbara, because as you know, she's more on the design of the co-design and this kind of citizen engagement workshops. But as far as I understand, it's quite difficult to take, let's say, standard material. It's quite important to adapt or to design the material with your specific objectives. So let me check with her. And in any case, of course, there is no problem to review or to complement these guidelines. But I will check if there is some standard materials you can use.
Yeah. Okay, I think that it's we just need a bit of a homework, that it would be on us, and we perhaps will ask Maite to have a look, or Barbara can have a look and
review them. Okay.
So
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Elżbieta, for running the session. And I would like to thank our experts, Maite and others, for the contribution to the action plan feedback sessions. We really appreciate your input. We agreed on the deadlines for giving the written feedback, so we will be in contact. Elżbieta will be in contact with Maite and Andrews. So we will be in touch. So thanks a lot. I would like to say have a good weekend, but it's only Thursday today. It was nice to see you, even on a screen, but it was really nice to see you after the Valladolid, when we saw Maite and Barbara. We didn't say Andrews because he was not involved in the workshop.
Yeah.
But even see you on the screen, it was very nice to see you. So thanks, and we'll be in touch.
Thank you so much. We are in touch, and hopefully we will be able to still meet each other face to face one day.
Yeah, well, let's hope one day it will be possible.
And I can tell you that we were so much uncertain when we started this call for experts, whom we will get, and we were so lucky.
Hey, thank you so much. Thank you so much, and see you when we meet next time, or meet virtually, and we will provide the feedback as agreed. So thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the day. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye. As part for the rest of our agenda, I would like to ask our partners who are online to have the patience. I think we need 10 minutes break, because it's very tiring here when we are in this hybrid system. So we need 10 minutes, and we already have the milk for the coffee provided right now, so really we need this 10 minutes break. So we will connect with you 10 after 10. Okay, thanks, see you.
10 after 11.
A będziemy o czasie, to pewnie.
Ja będę w czasie dzisiaj, więc wiecie. Ale dobry pomysł, to mieszkamy dla dzieci. No nie, wiesz, to jest bardzo...
I will also ask Pe4Trans, which is the small introduction for the monitoring phase of the project. As you know, we are right now finalizing the phase 1, which was extended by 6 months. Officially, formally, we finished the phase 1 at the end of May. But we had the extension, which is till the November. But anyway, when the action plans will be sent to JS, we need to start the monitoring phase of the project. And then Shweta, the floor is yours.
Oh, thank you. Well, actually, this presentation for me, it's the easy one because we went also already in another project through the phase 2, and we know what it requires, what it looks like. So what the phase 2 is for? It is for monitoring of the implementation of the action plan, because the implementation that should take place is not a part of the project. That means that the project doesn't finance any kind of implementation. It only finances a little bit of your work when you can monitor the activities and do some communication. It finances communication activities and our exchanges on how it is implemented. So maybe we can help each other in solving the problems and or sharing the successes when it's taking place. So the suggestion that Joint Secretariat does is that it's good to have a kind of overview table for like in Excel or something like that we can report the implementation activities and perhaps exchange the experience on how it's going on through online meetings. We can have some bilateral exchanges for specific difficulties, especially, for example, if we would like to do something like here in the agglomeration, there is an idea to do the ladder of bicycle-friendly place. We can exchange with those partners that have similar ideas to ask whether do you have similar difficulties or not. We are to have one meeting. I don't know whether we will be able to have it online or.
We will see. It was foreseen. It will be in Bentheim, the monitoring meeting, but right now we are not sure it will be possible to have it in Bentheim or we will have it online. We'll see. Yeah.
So
When is this meeting?
You know. I will check, but I think we should not, you know.
We are in delay, yeah.
Yeah, we are in delay.
So it was planned. So Camila can check the plan now, but probably we should not.
The Bentheim meeting should be in the 8th semester, which means from November this year and May next year. So if we assume it will be May 2022, for example, because there was not a special month for this on our Gantt chart. It's only written it will be 8th semester. So till May 2022.
And we, yeah. So we are to identify the concrete example of successes or difficulties that we encountered and spread information about this among the partners. And of course, we are to we are obliged to do some communication also to the outside world. And we should promote the achievements through articles, interviews, pictures, videos, whatever. While the minimum is to put information on the project websites for each partner of what achievement has been made in the implementation of the action plan. We are going to have final dissemination conference, as far I remember in Thessaloniki.
Before we go to the final dissemination conference, updating the website, it was very clear that we would have to do. But could you give us a little more details on, will we be able to have expenses for articles, for participating in conferences to present the achievements of phase 2? Will there be eligible costs for
It's a very good question, because I can tell you that in the previous program we had absolutely no problem with budget for this. But in this program, in Interreg Europe, in the previous project that I told you that we have experience of, we had problems with approval of such costs.
You know, when you propose to participate in some conferences, it was before the pandemic, just before, you know, you remember those emails? The Interreg Europe said, the transcript said, this conference is too scientific, that one is so-so, perhaps this one could be okay. So if you would like to go somewhere, just send us an email, we'll ask you, they will say, okay, it will be okay. But you know, they are not very keen to approve such costs, especially when it's a scientific conference. Yeah.
Questions about whether you want to travel to someone to speak over the action plan.
In the communication column, it says promote the achievements of phase 2 through articles, interviews, pictures. They say that we can have some dissemination costs, but until now it was made very clear that in phase 2 it wasn't eligible. So what we said is that when something comes up, we will send specific information, and they will tell us, tell us if it's approved or not.
The question is for participating in conferences.
Okay.
And the conference. So as you know, we are very good contacting GS. We are discussing some of the email to GS is responding very quickly. This is a very good process. So when you will have such situation, just send us an email and we'll ask. It's always worth to ask. You have nothing to lose. No, exactly, nothing to lose.
And of course, we will have this final dissemination conference. I think that we may talk about it, but it's not necessary at this moment, because we are just finalizing phase 1 to really discuss what the conference should look like. But it is just a slide and information what JS suggests, that it would be good to have, they would like to be proud of the achievements of the projects, and they count on us that we would like to be proud as well. So the better we can communicate, it's they are more happy. To understand how the phase 2 works, it's good to know how it is reported in project report to the Joint Secretariat. So so there are some new questions that we will have to answer, and we will have 2 reports to be prepared on phase 2. One will be after first year of the of the phase 2, and the other will be after second year of phase 2. So like 12 months, but of course our real phase 2 will take place since since December, so it will be a bit shorter. They asked us, and we will have to answer. How did you ensure the proper monitoring of the action plan implementation? So I will suggest in a minute how we can do it. Our suggestion is really very simple. They will ask if the relevant stakeholders were actively involved in phase 2. What does it mean? I mean the interpretation of how the stakeholders are to be involved in phase 2 is up to you. The most basic interpretation is if we plan their involvement in the activities as we have put in the action plan, normally we should just do it. Of course.
It's more than possible.
It's obligatory for us. Okay, and for each policy instrument, there is a space in the report that we will need to report the activities and the results of how we have improved the policy instrument that we have mentioned in our application form. And that's why in our action plans we also say what are the policy instruments. If the policy instruments are to be changed, we will also change them in the report and say that we are now addressing another instrument. We will have a space that in which we will be asked for activities, which is what has been done. We will report what has been done to implement what we have planned. So we will say, for example, for action 1, we have started this and this, and we will continue next period. For action 2, it was not possible because the regulations change in our country. For action 3, we were happy to say that we have done everything what was planned, something like this. And there will be a question if we have achieved a policy change. Policy changes as a kind of a holy grail for the Joint Secretariat. This is something that they really are keen on, even though, of course, they cannot ask and require everyone to achieve this. So if they ask that there is a policy change done, they ask on how what has changed in the activities. So like there is a new budget, there is a new project, there is etc. And they have their own criteria. I will not discuss them on assessing if the policy change has really taken place. But of course, they are so much happy if we can report it. And if the policy change has been made, they ask if we can assess territorial effect. That means the impact on the whole territory. It's always so difficult, so probably well, most of the time it will be difficult to really say. I mean, it will be, for example, difficult to say that because of the implementation of the action plan in 2 years' time, we would be able to say that the emission of CO2 has decreased by this and this tons or whatever.
Is there a fixed date when you tell you is there a fixed date for presentation the situation?
The end of the project. The end of the project, we are reporting twice during the monitoring phase.
Yes.
Yearly.
Yeah.
So the next
and we will help you to decide. I can tell you that in the previous project, for example, we had a different German partner. It was Association of Districts called Weserbergland Plus. They have in every meeting they told us what has happened, and it was like on one hand it was an achievement, on the other it was not the achievement that was planned in the project. So we discussed them after already year one. We should report the policy change now, because will be no possibility to achieve more in the next year. So we reported the policy change already in the first year. In our case of Wielkopolska, we had it even sooner, because we have had the policy achievement already before preparation of the action plan. It was because the regional authority had to announce a call for proposal, and they asked us for recommendation on how to shape the program that is under the call for proposals. And we also had this situation. We do it now or never.
In the May meeting in Germany, to see what we report.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to be the first year.
Yeah. Yeah, don't worry about it. I just wanted to put you in the context only. Yeah. And why? It is because the last question says that they ask about territorial effects, and that means that they ask also for the value of the performance indicator. They say that we should provide information on the value of this indicator as soon as the policy change is reported, because their logic is, if there is no policy change, you cannot really report on the indicator. It might be a bit complex situation, but just to get your understanding, that's why I don't worry so much about this performance indicator. So when we had several questions already, and people say, oh, we would like to change the indicator. You can change the indicator officially when you report the policy change. So you can put the information on how you are going to measure your action plan in your action plan, but the real question on performance indicator will arise when you will need to report the policy change. It may happen that you will not report. So when it appears on the table, we will help you and individual discuss with everyone how it could be best presented to Joint Secretariat, and I think that we will worry about this when the issue will arise. No, now it's not really necessary. So that was my intention to actually explain it to you. So in this context, what we suggest on how the monitoring phase should look like. So we didn't know it when we prepared the proposal, and we thought that, whoa, it will be really an ambition and difficult task, that the special monitoring methodology will be necessary. I think, sorry, I'm just looking if people in the room can see the slide. So our suggestion is that we create a Google Doc, actually in a form of a table, of a chart, in which we will suggest like headlines for each of the columns. And the headlines suggested are on the slide. So there will be information on whose information it is. That means what is the partner and what is the territory represented, to which action number of the action plan It refers to what is the action name as in the action plan. Then we will ask you to assess for your own sake how far are in the progress. Put just a number from 0 to 5. 0 means nothing has happened. 5 we have fully achieved what we planned. Then put some information of what has happened, like activities taken, who, what, who, and when, what problems have been encountered, what help other partners can provide you with those problems, and some lessons to share, like you would like to share some lessons with on success or difficulties. And this document would be filled in, of course, in ideal world, every time you have any information, but if you could agree that we would do it like every 3 months, and just like 1 week or before a teleconference that we would have it, we will ask the partners, could you please fill in the table, so that other partners can have a look on this, and we will have like a teleconference in which we will discuss what comes out of the of this table, whether the other partners are interested in your achievements or your difficulties. You can ask the feedback of the partners. The reviewer can have the reviewer can be glad of what you have achieved, because usually the reviewer has the best knowledge of what is in the action plan and so on. So this is the suggestion. I think it's very simple and practical. I don't know if you have some ideas or questions, or would like to change anything.
I think it's a good way to keep track and keep in contact. So, yeah.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Justyna.
Yeah, thank you.
Now we have the last session is to-do list, and I would like to ask Justyna to support me.
Yeah.
Open the to-do list. I redefined today in the morning, and I would like to agree with you with some deadlines.
So it's on the shirt.
Yeah. Okay, I would like to make it quick because I know how Sabina and Fran are in hurry to go home. Not anymore.
They take their mind.
They're staying the next night. Okay, so as you can see, the to-do list is divided into the management issues, territorial activities, interregional and communication issues, which are down there. And about the management issue, of course, the steering group meeting, which is the formal, body in the project is taking place right now. So we can think that this is done. Another issue is the reporting. We are in the process of we are still in the process of the reporting for joint secretariat for the 6th semester. We submitted the report on time, which was 1st of September. We submitted the report, the financial activity report, as well as the template with the data activities and data. Yeah, but already received the feedback from the joint secretariat with the request for clarifications. There are not a lot of issues which need to be solved, but there are some. We were in contact with the partners which needs to provide some additional explanations. So we are in bilateral contacts. If I didn't contact some of you, that means that there was there was no need to have this contact. I think the reporting will go smoothly. Another issue is the additional activities costs. When we submitted the additional activities template to joint secretariat, the feedback was there are too much cost there, and we will try to negotiate with the joint secretariat to leave the costs. In some cases there will be some decrease of costs, but we will see. Let's hope there won't be any problem. With the delayed payments, they said it's okay for the delayed payments. Yeah, you had the issue with the cost of May. They said for the delayed payments, everything is okay. For the delayed activities, they had some suggestions that the cost should be lower. But anyway, we will be discussing it with Joint Secretary. Okay, so we have the deadline for the 29th of September. For sure, we'll keep this deadline and send it to JS, and let's hope the process of finalization of the report and the activity and delayed activities and delayed payments will be finished in October, mid-October. I think so.
Sorry, but I asked you a question.
There was no such. Yeah, but I didn't, I didn't have time to put it in a clarification form because it was very quick before this meeting. And on Tuesday we had another project meeting for another project for the whole day with me and Elżbieta. So I didn't even reply to you. Sorry, Sabina. I didn't even say send thank you because I had no time to that. But thank you. And yeah, so we will incorporate all the explanations from partners and from us, and let's hope everything will be as quick as possible to have the payment for the 6th semester. Okay. Another issue, I think it's all for the management issues. I don't know if you have anything else is pending. Okay, for the territorial activities. I put it today in the morning, updated action plans 1 week after receiving feedback from experts.
That was a joke.
And I said, hey, I will write it, I will see what they say.
It's to see if we were listening to what you are saying, because otherwise it's okay.
Okay, so I think we agreed that the final feedback from the experts will be on 21st of October and of October. So we have to agree. I don't know what amount of time you need to. There is also we need some time to incorporate this feedback in one document, because we will receive the separate feedback from Maite and separate for others. We have to combine it somehow. Elżbieta, we need 1 week maximum. There is no time for us.
Well, I think we should make promises that we take like 3 days.
3 days. Okay, we will do it in 3 days.
So it's like 26.
Okay, so you will receive. Okay, so Elżbieta, can you put in a to-do list that
I can add the activities.
Yeah, but you will but we will send you the combined the matched feedback for your action plans. The 26th of October, yeah?
Maybe you can also include there, like 21 of October, we will have received the feedback from the experts, so we have everything.
Oh, sorry.
All partners until
21st.
and then we work
So actually the coordinator will get.
First, we will receive the feedback, and we have to match somehow, because we receive the separate from mine, the separate from others. We will have to see what is like, looks like, you know, just give us 3 days, yeah?
The minimum we need to make sure that they are not contradictory.
Exactly. Thank you. You are too generous. Yeah, somewhat this we have to check it first. Yeah. And it will be, okay, 27th of October.
If possible, we will do it earlier. If there is no contradictions, I will just put it like in half an hour and send it out to you.
Holidays are over. The holidays are over, yeah.
Like really.
Okay, so we have to agree when the updated action plans will be sent to us.
Under the experts, you should put yourselves, because you're going to do the compilation.
Yeah, exactly. I think, is it possible for you to send it to us after 2 weeks after you are receiving the feedback?
Yes, but why should we have an updated action plan after the feedback and then the stakeholder group meeting, which will get another feedback?
But it's, you know, the stakeholder group meeting will be go up. I just put this line today in the morning, you know, to don't forget about this to-do list, but we will just have the discussion
Yeah, but Vasya, I think that Vasya's line of thinking is first we receive the experts' feedback. Second, we meet the stakeholders, then we update the action.
Okay, because I am also thinking about one thing more, but before sending the action plans to JS, we need to have a quick look at it.
Before sending to JS, we need to have a quick look.
We as a lead partner.
If we say that we have till the 15th of November to do the update of the action plan, till the 15th of November, we will have done the 5th territorial meeting as well.
Yes, but after the 5th territorial meeting, we may have 2 or 3 days for the updated action plan. So maybe it was not possible to receive all this feedback from the expert and compile it in 2 days.
Yeah, you know, the time is very tight. I know, but the time is very tight, yeah, for all of us. So perhaps we can do it like this, but the 5th territorial stakeholder group meeting will be finalized till mid of November.
Let's take it the other way. If we send you the updated action plans, how long do you need to make the final check before sending it? Because we know that 30th of November, you need to send them. That is the only certain deadline.
Yeah, this is the final deadline.
How long do you need? Is 1 week enough? Do you need 2 weeks?
No, 1 week is enough.
We know what
But
time.
I don't want to look again.
Yeah, we have to look at it.
Then we have till we have 3 weeks of November to finalize the action plan, and then you have the 4th week of November to check it and send it.
Yeah, so till the mid of November, the final
Is listopad November?
Yes, it's
Yes.
listopad, November. Sorry.
yes.
Sorry.
So
the territorial stakeholder group
Yeah.
meeting,
This is November.
the territorial stakeholder group meeting have to be finalized till the mid of November.
Yes.
It's agreed. Okay. Then 1 week more to finalize the action plan. And then we have 1 week to send to have the final check and send it to James. Is it okay, Frank? Great. Eleni, is it okay for you also?
Yes, I understand, but maybe it's interesting to contact the stakeholders to have meetings right now to explain the actions, to exchange with them that we are going to do it. Because if not, we are not going to have enough time to have their feedback to include it in the action plan, no?
Yeah, I think it's I think it's possible because in many cases the feedback from the experts you already received the feedback today and yesterday. Now they will of course give us this in written, so especially from one there could be some more feedback, more insights. But if you Elena wants to do it bilaterally, you can meet with your stakeholders and in the same time receive the feedback from the experts and then finalize the action plan. It will be different. It's also okay. I think you don't have to wait for the feedback from the experts. If you feel you can do the stakeholder group meeting before.
Okay. Thank you. It's clear.
Okay, and
can I ask something about that meeting as well, please?
Yes.
Stakeholder. Is there any particular target number of participants, or we just need to make sure that the policy owners are involved?
No, it's this stakeholder group meeting is to get the commitment of the stakeholders who will be involved in implementation of actions. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I can like reiterate maybe more clearly on the purpose and how do we see this territorial stakeholders group meeting. It is supposed to be held for you to get the commitment of the stakeholders. So it gives you some budget, and in order to report the budget, you have to report an event. But if for you, it would be better to contact informally the authorities that you are collaborating with. You can just report, we have met over a coffee or even online, there is no cost.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, and we, as we always have the short report after the stakeholder group meeting to have some evidence that was had. I think, I don't know, 2 weeks after the stakeholder group meeting, we can have the deadline for report. Of course, it can be very short, when, who met, and what was the main agreed findings, it will be all, yeah?
1 week?
1 week or 2 weeks? What do you think?
Yeah. It should be very simple as possible.
Yeah, very, very simple.
And the form could be a minute of the meeting.
Yeah, short minutes of the meeting. Yeah.
Okay.
29th?
29th of November. Yeah. Okay, so I think we have all for all the territorial activities till the end of phase 1 agreed right now, or do you think anything is missing?
Okay, if not, we are going to interregional activities. First is the task for us, is the guidelines for 5th stakeholder workshop. I think we can do it in October, Elżbieta. It won't be very detailed methodology. It will be only the guidelines Elena asked for. We will show in these guidelines, but it's up to you how we will run this workshop or this meeting. And I don't know, 15th of October, Elżbieta? As soon we'll do it, the sooner we'll do it, the better. So 15th of October is the deadline for us as lead partner to send you these guidelines. Okay, next issue is delayed this challenges identified during third stakeholders workshop because it was from the other to-do list. I can delete it here. Yeah, I would like to, because I know that you have submitted, all partners submitted quite a lot of good practices to the Internet Europe website. But I know that Verena gave you the feedback in many cases, yeah? So I would just like to ask you if all the good practices are finalized.
We have some of them already okay.
Okay.
And I think we have to for further clarifications.
Okay, pending.
Yes, in terms of indicators and success.
And evidence of success, because I also receiving the feedback Verena gives you. So, okay, so I know that also Elena, for you, the Verena sent you some feedback. I don't know, Eleni, what about the bike ability, if there is already approved or not? I'm not sure. Eleni, you are muted.
Sorry, I think it is. I think we were asked to provide some extra description, and Sarah, my colleague, did that, and then it was approved, if I remember well.
Okay, great. So I would like to just set the deadline till the end of October to finalize everything with the good practices from JS. Is it okay for you?
Yes, so you do not expect us to find two more based on the action plan feedback or stuff like that.
I will check the results. Of course, if you have some more good practices, the more the better, but I will check.
Because we work based on the application form outputs from the university. So there was an output that was 2 more GPs per partner based on the feedback of the action plans. And the university has delivered based on that form.
Okay, because I know what is in the application form, but in the meantime, you know, our approach changed a little bit when we identified as much as possible good practices on the really which could fit the action plans. If you want to submit such good practices, it will be great. If not,
we will see what we can find.
Okay.
Sorry, we get 2 GPs from
Each partner.
from the past. We have, I mean, we have the GPs.
You have for sure one is cargo bikes.
Yes.
I don't know if you have another one already submitted. I'm not sure. I will also check it with Małgorzata because she's, you know, in charge of GPs. But we talked a lot after the study visits. All partners were asked to submit the description of the good practice which was presented during the study visit. I don't know because you have this insurance company. If you submitted the description of the good practice or not, I'm not sure. I have to check with Małgorzata. If not, we'll ask you to do this because it was a very interesting good practice. So, Marco Citelli.
I was a last.
We have 21.
Ah, this was the cargo bike. I watched it. Of course. Good for you. You were the star of the big webinar. Policy learning platform. Yeah, I watched this. I noticed that you had some problems with the sound at the beginning, yeah, but then everything was okay. So you submitted the cargo bike as a good practice, but please also submit this good practice from this insurance company who are encouraging people to go by bike to work, yeah? Which was presented by the outside person. I don't remember the name of this guy, but it would be good. So after the study visits, all the presented practices during the study visit should be put it on the project website as a good practice. So we need
I'm
to-
just looking at them.
Yeah, so please submit it till the mid of October. Submit it first to us. We'll have the first check, give you the feedback when you submit it to the website, and then I give you the final feedback. Yeah.
I press the coffee machine.
Yeah.
And say, running,
I know.
normally, because I see
Physics, but they can insurance.
I know, but this is the problem here.
Camila, the by bike to work is already there. It doesn't have the seal.
Okay, it's already there. Sorry. Okay, I said Małgorzata is in charge. I don't remember anything about this. You were asking, is it okay that you have? So you have two, because you have by bike to work, and also you have the cargo bikes.
Yes.
This is on the last page, I suppose.
Yes.
So it's okay, you have two already.
Yeah, cargo is also.
From our side, Camila,
From your side, I'm not sure, for sure you have enough, because
yeah, but we are being contacted by the Joint Secretariat to provide more information because they are interested in the social media campaign. So, well, we must to provide more information about indicators of the impact of the social campaign in order to publish the good practice in the platform. So it's still pending of that information.
okay, so please submit it as soon as possible, so we could finalize everything till the mid of October.
Okay.
Because during the reporting, Verena said that some are pending, so we should speed up with the process of describing these good practices. Okay.
Some of them, in our case, because we had partners, some of them were approved to be under the project indicator, but they were not inserted in the policy learning platform. So they are okay, and we are not doing anything about it.
Yeah, it's okay, because we can count it as the indicator, but they say it's not,
Good enough.
to be on the platform. But we can put it as an indicator, so it's no problem. No problem. Okay.
So that's why I don't put any deadline, or I should.
15 of October to finalize everything.
No, the GP is presenting end of October.
End of October.
No, 30th of October.
30th.
Okay. Second study visit to Baker. If I suppose you are in the contact, you mail for them. So Frank, Eva and Eva is waiting for the confirmation of the dates. Is it okay for you? The dates they said to you yesterday. When you are confirming this,
Let us know.
They will start the arrangements, and in the meantime, we are discussing with Joint Secretariat about the process. Yeah, because the joint. Yeah, I know.
Delegation.
I know.
How many people are you going to bring? Ewa, ile ludzi chcecie?
6 people, 6 people? 6, 7 people. Like to count.
Don't treat it so serious.
6.
So yeah, 6.
7.
Yesterday they told 24.
No.
That was
It was a joke. It was a joke. Yeah, exactly.
Don't take it so serious.
6, maximum 7. Maximum 7. Okay, so if the study visit could be possible, it has to be done at the end of October. Because otherwise, joint secretary will not accept the loss. So please, Frank, give them feedback as soon as possible.
Which person?
Eva and I don't know who else.
Krzysztof?
Krzysztof, prezydent, the mayor, od prezydenta człowiek od transportu, the transport man from the mayor, and then the most funny people, the most fancy ones.
And Lewandowski.
Entertaining.
Lewandowski is living in Germany. You have to bring Lewandowski.
Yeah, Lewandowski is on your side.
Yeah, Lewandowski is on your side. You know, you have to arrange this. Okay, we are out of time, and I want to speed up. Okay, this is I think the last thing for the interregional action for the next month, at the end of phase 1. About the communication, there are normal things which you have to be aware of. We have the fan page on the social media. Sometimes we put something like on the social media. You have to have the information about the project on your website. You have to have the poster in your premises. And one thing is the final conference. I know that Basia and Paulina want to discuss the issue of the final conference, which will be held in the 9th semester of the project, which means a year from now.
We want to discuss some sorry, I didn't, what do you want us to discuss now?
Because
If you want.
yesterday, but we discussed the issue of the principle of the final conference.
I want to discuss something about the dedication of the budget regarding the content, the preparation of the high political event. We think it's better to discuss it in the Germany meeting because it's going to be closer and we will have a better picture of what we have done, what we want to emphasize, how we want to structure it. We will also have a better understanding of the reality.
Okay.
Who can travel, who cannot travel, what is happening. I think that in regard to this, because when we were making the application,
It was 4 years ago.
not only that, but mostly the pandemic was not something that anybody could foresee or imagine that would happen.
Yeah, sure.
So we want to tell you that the need has come up to contract some experts to support us with one or two things regarding that high political event and some other things. I think that we are going to send you the justification.
And we'll send it to GS.
Exactly.
I don't think there will be any problem with that. They will understand that you will need, for example, the technical support. Yeah, it will be the hybrid conference. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Most probably. Yeah, most probably. But even now we cannot say it because we don't know if it will be hybrid or online. Because right now
we need help with a couple of things because of the different situation that we are living in. We will send you the reasoning and how this came up. You can forward it. Our budget is not going to change. We're going to
just
move,
make some shifts. Make some shifts. Yeah.
So it's just that because it was not foreseen in the application, we need confirmation that the coordinators are agree to this provision. And after that, I think we probably don't even need the JS approval because it is within the flexibility rule. I think that we probably just need your approval, but we'll check and I will tell you.
Okay, because it's.
We will also check.
Yeah, we will also check because it's, what we have in the application form is the cost of catering and room rental, networking the network partners and stakeholders.
Yes.
And if you will have to change it for some technical support for the online meeting or something like this,
They like to be asked.
Yeah, they like to be asked for such change. Yeah. So we will ask them for sure. They will say okay. So
And anyway, our idea was not to have it specifically connected to that. This need has come up for some more things, so we will send you the details. We will send you the details. Okay. For sure, we need the approval of the coordinators that they are informed and agree to this change. If you think that it would be good to inform them, yes, you do so. We wait for your.
Okay, you always have to be aware that we, as a lead partner, do not have the power of agreeing the costs. We are helping you to check with the rules of the program, but the power to agree is in the hands of the joint secretariat. So
we'll send you and you tell us
exactly. Okay.
How you want to proceed.
Exactly. So I think it's all.
The final conference is on the last semester.
No, in the ninth, not the last one.
To high college event. Yes.
Yeah,
Final conference.
It's not in the last semester, as you could see
Okay,
in the
so-
project. It's in the ninth semester, not 10th. So we can do it because we are finalizing the project in May 2023. We can do it in November. This is the last month of the ninth semester, for example, October or November next year.
October maybe
Will be better. The better weather will be. Yeah. Because joint secretariat doesn't want us to do it at the end of the project, because they are really do not like, because we have to finalize all the costs with the certificates, everything before and the report before the project will be finalized.
So they think that 6 months we really need for finalize.
That's why they do not allow the project, they do not allow to do it in the last semester.
So it's going to be not on 2022.
It will be 22. At the end of the 22, October, November.
Put October there, please, for the final conference.
Yeah.
But when we are closer to the date, we will see.
Yes, just put October because it's more realistic.
Yeah, I think so. So I think it's all. So we will send you this to-do list today or tomorrow, yeah. Like we do it all after all our steering group meeting. Thanks a lot for being here with us. Thank you, Elena and Eleni, for being with us online.
Thank you.
This hybrid meeting was,
Thank you very much.
Was very challenging for all of us, but I'm happy we managed to do this. And I'm surprised how well it was, yeah, to have it in hybrid, because it's always easier to have it completely online or completely on site. Hybrid is the most demanding form, but we managed to run this workshop. It was great. So thank you all for being there online. Thank you, Sabine and Frank, for coming here by car 9 hours, and Basia and Pavlina to be so brave to fly to Wrocław, take a train, be here, and of course we have to thank our hosts, Eva and Eva, and the technical support of the men here. So thanks a lot. Thank you. The Kalisz is the best host. They gave us so much food yesterday evening, but it was not possible to eat it.
And I think that for the translation, we really need to do.
Yeah.
Extra.
Yeah, the translation was great. The matching for the IT support was also great for us. Always solve the problems in the 1 second. Yeah, we had. So really it was great. So Ela,
Tak, chodź do nas.
want to say something?
Kamila, bardzo Ci dziękuję za to podsumowanie naszych dwudniowych warsztatów.
Poczekaj, bo będzie chyba.
Aha, sorry. Ale tam napisy nic nie ma.
Niestety nie przyjechali.
So thank you for summarizing these 2-day workshops.
Szanowni Państwo, ja się cieszę, że te 2 dni minęły.
So
Zarazem jest mi smutno, że tak szybko minęło.
So I'm happy that these 2 days were so fruitful, but I'm just sad that it is already over.
To, co wczoraj powiedziałam, że
I will
mimo
repeat what I
was,
said yesterday.
jestem najstarszy
It's very nice to have you here in the oldest city in Poland, Kalisz.
Myślę, że jeszcze będzie okazja do spotkania się
Uh,
razem tutaj.
I hope that we will have another chance to meet here again.
Liczę tam, że nasza wizyta studyjna
Frank, I hope that our study visit will take place in your location, because our local governor and mayor
są bardzo nakręceni na wasz transport.
are thrilled to see the transport solution you have there, and they are willing to see it.
Myślę, że to będzie ułatwienie dla mnie
It will be also facilitation for me
przy opracowywaniu tego naszego
while developing the strategy.
aglomeracyjnego planu mobilności, zrównoważonej
So
mobilności.
when I am developing the sustainable mobility plan here, it will be also very good contribution to see it.
O pewnych rozwiązaniach, o których ty już wspominałeś, ja mówiłam.
I've already told them about solutions that you have mentioned. I've informed the local governors.
Niedowierzenie, więc myślę, że jeżeli przyjadą naocznie, zobaczą.
There is a slight disbelief, but when they come and they see it in person,
sprawdzają, uwierzą i będę miała.
when they see that these solutions can be put into effect in practice and they can see it, so then my job will be easier. So thank you very much for being here. Thank you for our friends that do such a great job in this project. Yesterday when we had supper, so we just spoke that we shall continue our work in transport. So the transport will always be needed and fashionable. So it's not only about mobility, but also so the related environmental issues, so the climate issues and safety. Thank you very much. So some small gifts to the person that are present, and here they regret that they cannot share these gifts with people who are online.
So many kids. Wow.
Kids ones are famous.
Nie, bo ja tylko tłumaczem jestem.
Proszę bardzo. Dziękuję. 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 Kawał dobrej roboty. A niemiecki też pan zna, to pojedzie pan z nami do Bentham. Też lokalny produkt, Andrutyka.
To kontynuować trochę.
I dopełnienie
Bardzo cenne pytania.
Tak.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Ja mówiłem im, że żałują, że nie mówiłem już o tym.
To fun.
So, you know, Kalisz was a famous place of manufacturing pianos and grand pianos and for music.
And we are in a building.
Przy okazji nie zapomnimy o nich.
We are in a building where this famous pianos were manufactured before the Second World War and even after the Second World War. So the building is beautiful. Sorry, it's a pity you didn't saw this hotel and this beautiful Red brick building.
Oh, it's amazing. Amazing.
Okay, so thanks a lot, guys, and see you next time. We'll be in touch. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. A good pleasure.
Yes.
Ciao, ciao, ciao.